All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting to the daily vlog. This is daily vlog number 111, I think. Something like that. I don't know. There's lots of numbers. Like they get confusing. I think. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I actually when I actually uploaded it. So today we need to talk about how YouTube is destroying creating. It's not. So, I woke up today, and by woke up, I mean I've been up since like 10 o'clock last night, and I just don't sleep at night anymore. And I saw that Dropout was trending onto the Twitter. If anyone is unaware, Dropout is Dimension 20's subscription service website platform to the thing, if I remember correctly. Before I say the wrong thing, I believe, at least what I'm referencing, is Dimension 20's like proprietary website where you can watch the majority of their content. Like, the way that Dimension 20, if you're not familiar, Dimension 20 is a live play RPG company, kind of similar to Critical Role. They don't exclusively do live plays, but that's how they kind of got their start. Now they've got a lot of other things like Actually and other, like, they make a lot of really, really cool quality content. And the way that they do it is they will generally release like the first episode of a new RPG series on YouTube, and then the rest of it will be on Dropout, which is paywalled. You have to pay a subscription to get it. And then they will also, like, there is a Dropout or a Dimension 20 YouTube channel, and they are fairly regularly putting content there, but it's always like clips and short little cutlets of what they're doing on their proprietary website. So I went to look at why Dropout was trending, and I found out the reason it's trending is there's a YouTube channel called Watcher. Watcher apparently used to be a part of the... I'm going to... Stop it. There we go. They used to be part of BuzzFeed before that all kind of blew up, and then they went off on their own. And now they've decided that they are... they're going to quit posting anything on YouTube. If you want to watch anything that Watcher makes, you have to go to their proprietary website for it, and it's going to be apparently a $6 a month fee to watch their content. So a lot of people are kind of talking about it. The thing that constantly keeps happening is people keep going, oh, look, YouTube is destroying creators, and you can't make a living off of the YouTube, and this is just another example. And it's a bold-faced lie. That's not what this is an example of. This is an example of people that don't understand how businesses work making stupid decisions. Why do you say that? Well, here's why. So, and I'll actually link this back into something that was happening, I want to say like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Twitch had... Twitch is always controversial, and they had made a change. I think they changed payout structures or something like that. And so all of these Twitch creators and all these Twitch streamers, you know, were up in arms, like, that's it, I'm moving to YouTube. And then one by one, they tried streaming on YouTube, failed miserably, and all went back to Twitch. And none of them could quite understand why. They're like, well, it doesn't make sense. YouTube is better for creator. They give you more money. They don't, actually, but people wanted to think that. And it's a huge it's a huge website, so why in the world wouldn't I make more money on YouTube? Because YouTube is not designed for live streaming. It's remarkably horrible for live streaming. They have made massive, massive gains in their live streaming offers and what their platform can do for live streaming. Still not made for live streaming. It is a horrendous platform for live streaming. Twitch, significantly better for live streaming for just unbelievably number of ways. The chat is significantly better. Bits are integrated into the system and can be connected to OBS and Streamlabs and a bunch of other things to incentivize people to donate. Amazon Prime is a big deal where you basically get free money for people subscribing to you. The subscription service in and of itself is just well made. And channel points. Channel points are such a big deal, and they're so useful when they're used correctly. YouTube has got none of those. It has a subscription service. It sucks. It has a way to make your chats pop up by donating money. It sucks. YouTube is not a live streaming platform. It is a video on demand platform. And it is the best video on demand platform for independent creators on the internet. And that's basically what the problem is with all of these companies that go, well, I'm not making enough money on YouTube, so I am going to go to another platform and people are going to pay me to watch my content. They're not. Watcher has just put the final nails in its coffin. It will be dead. My prediction, give it about 1.5 to 2 years, Watcher will be gone. It may be faster than that. I don't know how bad they are financially right now. But if we look at previous companies that have done similar things like Rooster Teeth, they were gone, I think it was 2 years. And I imagine Watcher, because they're a little bit smaller than Rooster Teeth was, so they technically have less ways to bleed money. And if they're smart, they will start firing people off so that they're bleeding the least amount of money as possible if they want to extend their death knell as long as they can. But yeah, this is my prediction. You guys can come back here after Watcher stops doing business and see how right I was. But they've decided that they can no longer afford to stay on YouTube because they're not making enough money on YouTube. You want to know why they're not making enough money on YouTube? Because they don't understand how to run a business. That's 100% what it is. Everyone tries to harp on the idea that YouTube ad revenue sucks. Fun fact, YouTube ad revenue has always sucked. 100% of the time, YouTube ad revenue has sucked. When people first started getting ad revenue, it sucked. People used to complain about it. 10 years ago, people used to make videos talking about how bad YouTube ad revenue was. Now, people are talking about how YouTube ad revenue is so bad and no one can live off of YouTube ad revenue. No one has ever been able to make a living off of YouTube ad revenue, aside from a few freak accident cases. The vast majority of people that make their living on YouTube do not live off of YouTube ads. They never have, they never will. It's a monumentally stupid thing to do. Being able to live entirely off ads has never been a viable option on the internet. The only place it has ever worked, print media used to do it really, really well. And broadcast television used to do it relatively well. And the reason why was they didn't passively allow ads to run in their shows. Every network would have someone whose job, or generally it was an entire team of people, whose job was to sell the ad space. Every newspaper and every magazine has someone whose sole job is to sell the ad space in their print media. Passive ad revenue has never supported anyone aside from, again, a couple freak accidents, and in the very early versions of the internet, passive ad revenue was sometimes able to do pretty well on some websites. But for the most part, it just doesn't work. The way you make money on YouTube is through sponsorships and through diversification of your income streams, which is how you make money in business in general. You never, ever, ever, any business in the world, you never, ever, 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 ever put all of your focus into one income stream, because there's always a chance that that income stream will somehow dry up. There will be a new law that is passed. There will be a change in the marketplace. Every single company that has relied on a single income stream has died or is currently dying. That's not how business works. And this is not new information. This is stuff that has been known for 50, 60 years minimum. Back to the advent of marketing, we've known that single income stream companies are destined to fail. Sometimes it'll take 10, 15, 20 years for them to fail, but it's just not a long-term it's just not a long-term process. So why is Watcher doing so poorly? First of all, they don't release a ton of videos. Now, they go for the quality over quantity idea, which is perfectly fine, but that doesn't work for passive ad income. Passive ad income, if you want to make money off of YouTube ads, you need to be putting out videos daily. Bare minimum, you have to be putting out multiple videos a week. They need to be somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think it's like 12 to 20 minutes is kind of the sweet spot for getting the good ads. And you need people to be watching them for pretty decent amounts of time. You can't have, 30-second average views because you won't make any ad revenue off that. So that's what you need to do if you want to get decent money from ad revenue. You will not be able to run a business off of that, but that's how you do it. Watcher doesn't do that. So strike one, they're already using a model that doesn't work well on YouTube. The second thing you do is you look for sponsors. And most big companies have somebody whose job is, again, to sell ad space, or for a creator, you will have someone whose job is to find you sponsorships. That's what a manager can do. You can have a marketing team to do stuff like that. You have to be really, really big, like Critical Role levels of big, which when you compare it to like all the companies just in the US, Critical Role is still a relatively small company, but compared to your average content creator, Critical Role is massive. Critical Role could just completely ignore trying to look for sponsorships and look for deals and stuff like that. They don't. They actually have a marketing team. I've actually talked with the head of their marketing department. They are wonderful. They're an amazing, wonderful person. They were actually one of the people when I first got my when I got my degree in marketing management. They actually congratulated me. They're amazing. Yeah. So this idea of Watcher, just YouTube is not, no, Watcher is doing stupid things, is what it is. So, first of all, if they wanted to make more money off of ads on YouTube, they would need to put out more content. Now, with their particular setup and the type of videos that they do, they can't really do that. They have, again, they've built a brand on quality versus quantity. That's still possible to do on YouTube. However, you have to supplement it with other income streams. I don't know if Watcher has a merch shop, but merchandise is a absolutely wonderful way to diversify your income stream. It's also an absolute pain in the ass to run merchandise. If you go for one of those companies that will just kind of print the stuff for you, and so you don't have to do any of the inventory or anything like that, you're really not going to make any money off of it. The profit margins are so incredibly slim. You have no control over quality. It's just not really good. If you want to shop around long enough to find something that's going to give you the quality, that's going to give you the customer service, that's going to give you what you want, that's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort. You might find a third-party company to do that. Or what a lot of bigger companies do is they have their own merchandise department where they have to deal with inventory, they have to deal with shipping, and all that stuff. By dealing with it internally means you can bump up your profit margin to a point where you actually can make money off of it. Watcher, I will guarantee, is not doing that. I didn't know this company existed. I didn't know this channel existed until today. But I will guarantee they do not have in-house merchandise. So that's one way you can do it. Second of all, sponsored things. Reaching out and finding sponsors for the videos that they're already making would increase their revenue by a pretty decent amount. Sponsorships, a lot of people don't realize sponsorships can be anywhere from a few $1,000s to $20,000 to $50,000 for a single video. Marketing is unbelievably expensive, and Watcher is actually a decent sized channel. If I remember correctly, the channel itself has what? 2.89 million subscribers. They are not a tiny channel. And if you look at, I'm actually going to look at what they get for views. Let's just look at their last few videos here. So they got 1 million views on their video where they said they're leaving YouTube. It's looking like, if we're going back, let's go back 2 months. So we go back the past 2 months, 450K, 258K, 609K, 419K, 542K, 400K. A trailer only got 176K, 2 million, 1.2 million, 1.3 million, 1.9 million, 1.1 million, 1.1 million, 981K, and then 995K. They are doing really well view-wise. When you look at, their last, 6 or 7 videos have been getting 1 million, roughly. That's basically a third of their subscriber count is tuning in, which is pretty damn good. Getting sponsorships for any of those videos would make them a pretty decent amount. But maybe they don't want to do that for whatever reason. Adding sponsorships to this highly produced, high quality production stuff, maybe that would just be something that they couldn't do. Okay, so what else could they do? Well, there's subscription models. Patreon and things like that are absolutely essential for most YouTubers at this point. Because that creates effectively passive income. There's a couple different ways that you can do Patreon. You can do it by the video, or at least you used to be able to. I'm actually not sure if you can do it this way anymore. But it used to be you could do Patreon where your patrons would pay for basically every time you publish something. Or they just pay you a flat fee per month. And leveraging Patreon is a really, really good way to get that passive income that ads are not going to get you. Because generally the people on Patreon are going to be your most loyal, we're going to try this again, most loyal fans. And Patreon in and of itself, as much as I disagree with a lot of the steps that Patreon has taken, as far as censorship and quite a few other really, really stupid things. They tried to add an arbitration clause at one point and then realized what a monumentally stupid idea that was. There's been a few things that Jack Conte has done that have just been monumentally stupid. In spite of that, Patreon is still a phenomenal way to augment your income without adding a significant amount of workload. In general, if you want to be running a Patreon well, which I don't, if anyone's wondering, I have a Patreon. I have not added anything to my Patreon in like a year. The reason it still exists is it's mostly for a way, if you guys really do enjoy the content that I make, it's a way for you to support the channel without having to go through YouTube. Is really what it is, because I don't have any way to make money off of YouTube. My channel's hasn't been monetized in years. I was monetized at one point, and then they changed the rules, and I got unmonetized real quick. It's simply, again, it's a way for me to get passive income from people that really enjoy the stuff that I make. That's what it is. One day, would I love to have more stuff that I put on my Patreon? I would love to, but mental health and everything, I simply can't. But um, if Watcher was, and I would assume they have to have a Patreon. It seems remarkably stupid to not. If they don't, there's another reason why they're failing. But if they do, interaction and creating posts talking about behind the scenes stuff or running polls, keeping people engaged is the best way to ensure that people are going to want to keep supporting and creating a loyal fan base. A lot of people don't realize, and I've had this argument with a few of my Twitch streaming friends where they will say things like, well, I have to do this because if I don't, then I can't really, I have to justify the price of people subscribing to me. No, you don't. The reason that people subscribe to you on Twitch is not to get access to your Discord or to get access to your emotes or anything. In general, the vast majority of people that subscribe to a Twitch channel are doing it because the amount of entertainment you give them is worth more than $5 a month or $10 or $15 a month. So they are already getting their money's worth before you add any benefits to it. We need to stop devaluing ourselves as entertainers in like, well, somebody gives me money, then I have to give them something back. No, you have. You've given them hours upon hours of free content. And so they want to pay you back. Patreon works a very similar way. I know YouTube has channel memberships. I've never dealt with them before. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of YouTube in general either. It just happens to be the platform that is best for me. So that's another way to kind of diversify. You have merchandise, you have subscription services like Patreon and other sorts of stuff like that. If you want to put exclusive content behind them to kind of encourage people to do it, understand any exclusive content that you put behind a paywall like Patreon needs to be cost effective. If you are putting videos that cost you, $2,000 a month to make and the entirety of your Patreon is making you $50, then the incentive is not there and you need to stop doing it. Even if you lose those $50, you're going to be saving $1,950 by not wasting all of your money creating content that people don't really want. If people are going to support you, they're going to want to support you, and that's perfectly fine. We have merchandise, we have that, and then we also have Twitch. I know a lot of YouTubers that stream on Twitch, and I know a lot of Twitch streamers that put stuff on YouTube. There's a reason for that. Twitch, again, vastly superior in live streaming. Twitch is the best platform by leaps and bounds. Whether or not you like Amazon doesn't matter. It's the best place to do it, and you will make money. A couple years ago, I guess now it's going like 6 or 7 years ago, there was this kind of big exodus where a lot of established YouTubers kind of stopped creating YouTube videos and moved over to Twitch. The reason why was most of them were Let's Players or something similar to that, and Twitch just makes you more money for less effort. You don't have to edit anything onto Twitch. Simply just being live will get people to give you money, whether it's bits, whether it's subs. There's so many different ways to get money onto Twitch. It is a gold mine as long as you have the ability to stream on a fairly regular basis and put some effort into it. Create some donation goals, create some bit donations, effects and things like that. There's so many different ways to do it, and it is remarkably lucrative, especially when you can leverage another platform. And this is the biggest thing that I think people just don't seem to understand is if you want to run a successful business, you have to market it. And YouTube is a phenomenal marketing tool. Twitter is a phenomenal marketing tool. TikTok is a phenomenal marketing tool. And Twitch is a phenomenal marketing tool. Now, individually, When people hear marketing tool, they like when a lot of people think of TikTok, they're like, well, I can make all this money. No, you can't. TikTok, you will not make much money off of. Twitter now has a way for you to actually make money off of your tweets. You're not going to make much money off of it. However, and YouTube, again, has lots of different ways to make money. You're not going to make money off of YouTube because most of the money is based on AdSense. However, you can use your YouTube videos, you can turn them into YouTube Shorts. Doesn't take a ton of editing to do that. I actually literally watched a buddy of mine edit a Twitch stream into a short. And I think it took him 10 minutes. It was a remarkably simple and easy thing. Once you get all of your setup, once you get everything set up and you have presets and things like that, it's remarkably simple. And for a company like Watcher, I don't know how large they are, but having a single person whose job is to just make YouTube shorts is not a huge burden on them. You can probably do everything, especially when you're only putting out a few videos a month, be unbelievably simple. It would be less than a part-time job. And the nice thing about YouTube Shorts is YouTube trying to copy TikTok and Vine from earlier. What that means is things that work for YouTube Shorts also work on TikTok. They also work pretty well on Twitter, and you can even post them on Facebook. And so the way that you do it is you create these shorts or TikToks or whatever you want to call them, and they need to have some sort of call to action. They should be short, they should be very entertaining, and they should have something like, if you want to see the rest, go to this place. And you use them for cross promotion. It's very, very simple. It will increase, and again, all of this costs you nothing. You create the short for YouTube, you can upload the exact same video, completely unedited, to TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at the exact same time and just take advantage of the passive marketing of all these different services. Get your audience involved. Ask people to spread the word and stuff like that. That's marketing. There's so many different ways that you can market that don't involve, never do this. Never, ever, 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 ever do this. You can buy ad space on Twitter. You can buy ad space on YouTube. You can buy ad space on Etsy. Don't. Just don't do it. You do not have enough money for that to be a positive return on investment. You just don't. It's not going to happen. If you're not a large company like Walmart, you're going to lose money 100% of the time if you buy ad space on Twitter or whatever. It's just not going to work. But if you make your own marketing, learn search engine optimization, learn how to use hashtags effectively, interact with people, reach out, and collaborate with other people that are within your sphere of influence. All of these things are brilliant ways to market your product and get a much better return on your investment. To my understanding, Watcher has done jack shit of all of that. They've just decided, well, if we put stuff on YouTube, we get money. And it doesn't work. And now that they're switching over to their own proprietary website, they're going to watch all of their views on every single thing that they put out drop like a rock. You want to know why? Because as bad as YouTube is, discoverability is still better on YouTube than it will ever be on Google search engine. Google will do everything they can to keep you going to the places that they want you to. So if somebody's looking for your stuff, YouTube will direct them to your YouTube channel long before they will direct you to your private website. Watcher is not going to get anywhere near the views that they get on their personal website that they were getting on YouTube. Now, technically, if every one of those views is paying $6 a month, there's a chance that the lesser views could technically make them more money. It's not. Like, we're not talking about they're going to lose half of their views or like, 3/4 of their views. No, they're going to lose like a factor of 10 minimum. You're going to watch them from going 1 million views to 100,000 barely, maybe 50,000, 20,000 views, because people won't be able to find their stuff organically. It's going to be trapped behind a paywall, which is going to get rid of a lot of the people that were watching it for free. And they don't have a way to funnel people there. Again, all these companies and YouTubers put all their eggs in one basket. We're going to make YouTube videos and we're going to make our money off of the YouTube ads. And for a single creator, like for me, if I was getting 1 million views per video that I put out, I probably could make a decent chunk of change. To be perfectly honest, I would probably make more money on YouTube than I make on disability. But that's more commentary on how shit my disability payments are. But yeah, if I was the only person that had to make money off of my YouTube channel, I could probably survive off of ad revenue pretty well. I would not be living in a mansion or anything, but I could probably pay utilities. I might even be able to afford my own rent. Again, this house, not mine. My brother's house. He has been absolutely lovely allowing me to stay here, and I just have to help pay for things around the house. But I don't technically have rent or anything that I have to pay. I pay in other things, like helping to replace our damn water heater. So if I was getting 1 million views, I probably would be making easily quadruple, quintuple what I make off of disability. Probably, to be perfectly honest, I would probably make more. If I was getting 1 million views per video, I would probably make more money on YouTube just from passive ad revenue than I made any year when I was in retail management. And that, again, is not a commentary on how well YouTube ad revenue is. It's a commentary on how poorly I was paid in management. I have never made above, or I think I've made above the federal poverty line once in my life. And I worked in retail for 10 years. Retail management for 10 years. I worked in retail, I think, closer to 15. Yeah, it's real bad. So anyway, yeah, every time I see something like this happening, it just infuriates me, because it's people that don't understand how to run a business getting mad that running a business is hard. And you just see this over and over and over again. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that most YouTube creators are what we call creatives. They're creative. They think outside of the box. They like to, create things. However, creatives are extremely useful in business in general. However, every business has to have a businessman in it. Someone that understands, okay, as much as, yes, we want to be creative and we want to, do things that are going to fulfill us creatively, we also need to make money. And these are the ways that we're going to make money. We also need to make sure we're paying our taxes correctly and that we aren't violating labor laws and other stuff like that. Like, you need someone to run the business. And when YouTube first got big, you had all of these creatives start making actual money, and they'd never seen that before, and they thought that, oh, this is running a business, this is so easy, and they didn't understand that, no, they weren't running a business, they were just in an emerging market. And when a new market emerges, tons of people make shit tons of money. Once the market is established and kind of steadies, then it requires people to actually run the businesses. And that's why Geek and Sundry doesn't exist anymore. That's why Nerdist doesn't exist anymore. That's why Rooster Teeth doesn't exist anymore. That's why over and over and over and over and over again, all of these companies that were started by creatives keep failing, because eventually they get to the point where they have to learn how to run a business, and they tricked themselves into thinking that they knew how to run a business, when in all actuality they simply knew how to create a product that people liked. And that's what's happening to Watcher now. They used to have someone to run their business for them, BuzzFeed, and then BuzzFeed went belly up because they were run by morons. And now they think that because Dropout and Dimension 20 have been able to do this, that they're somehow going to be able to pull it off. They're not. They're nothing like to Dropout. Again, Dropout understands marketing. It's one of the reasons why they put out clips and all that other stuff in the first episode of all their RPG shows and everything like that. They put those on YouTube. They monetize them on YouTube. And they do remarkably well because of that. They also put out really high quality products. They get sponsorships and things like that. I believe they've got merchandise and other stuff. Like, they are a massive and relatively well run company. But massive by YouTube standards. They're tiny compared to most businesses. But yeah, Critical Role's the exact same way. Critical Role diversified their income stream within, I want to say, like a year of the show starting. Like, they started creating merch within a few months and then just went crazy. They have I'm going to try this one more time. They have Darrington Press that has been publishing a lot of really interesting things. They have board games. They have 2 different tabletop RPGs. They have their merch shop, which is continually putting out new and interesting things. They have a TV show that they've licensed that is making them money, that was good enough that it not only greenlit another season of Legend of Vox Machina, but they also greenlit a Mighty Nine animated series as well. Like, Critical Role has diversified their income so much, and they still do sponsored streams, and they still stream on their Twitch channel regularly, and they put all this stuff on their YouTube channel. Like, they have done so much, and they have, I believe they have a TikTok presence, and they're definitely present on Twitter, and like, they have done so much to diversify, and that's why they still exist. That's why they are making as much money as they are right now, and always have, because they understood that they needed to take the business aspect of this seriously. And I think the most ironic aspect of that is Geek and Sundry didn't take it seriously and failed, and they started Critical Role. Or rather, Geek and Sundry kind of took it seriously by letting them get bought out by Legendary, and then Legendary did not take it seriously at all and had a moron running their stuff. So, yeah. So anyway, Watcher's dead. Like I said, within a year to 2 years, I say Watcher will completely stop making content. It's the same thing. What was it? Watch Tabletop. I can't remember if I talked about this before. I know I've talked about this. There was a Kickstarter, which actually had a couple people that I know contributed to it and actually helped create the Tabletop News show. They've done jack shit since December of last year. Not a single video has gone up. They're apparently still updating the Kickstarter, but because I didn't donate to it, I can't see what their most recent update was. Everywhere else, they have gone radio silent. It was a massive failure on all parts. And again, it was because a bunch of creatives got together and just said, well, we don't need to know how to run a business. We're just going to decide that this is how much money we want, and this is how we're going to do it, and it's just going to work. Same basic thing is happening with Watcher here. You have people that don't understand what the hell they're doing, and now they're making a monumentally stupid decision. Instead of trying to course correct and use the systems that already exist, they're trying to create their own system that's going to fail. So, anyway, I hope you guys found this is interesting. Like I said, every time I see this, it just pisses me off, because it literally would just take them adding a manager to their team. Like, someone whose entire purpose is just to run the business aspect of it. But they don't want to do that because they're worried that they'll lose their creative control and their creative freedom and stuff like that. And business is bad. We're creatives. We have to be creative. Nope. Business isn't bad. Business is how people make money. That's how it's always been. Get your heads out of your ass. Understand that businesses are hard to run. That's why managers make as much as they do. Well, let me put that. Let's rephrase it. That's why CEOs make as much as they do. Managers make shit. But CEOs make a lot of money because running a business is really, really hard. It's why I spent 4.5 years getting a degree. It is remarkably hard to run a business. And as soon as the creatives get their heads out of their asses and start understanding that running a business is a lot more than creating good content, and start putting their money where their mouth is and paying someone to run the business aspects of their business, we're going to continue to watch channels make really, really stupid decisions, like what Watcher's doing now. Anyway, it's all for me today. See you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.